Imagine dedicating your entire life to your family, raising children, feeding them, protecting them, only to be betrayed by the very people you gave everything to. I gave my whole life to my family, raising my kids, feeding them, working my hands to the bone, and I thought they'd always be there for me. But one day, I realized they weren't. My own children turned cold on me, took everything I had, and left me with nothing but memories and heartbreak. They thought they had broken me, but I wasn't done. I rose back up, stronger and smarter than ever, ready to reclaim my life. I was the kind of grandma everyone seemed to love. I woke up early every morning, brewed my coffee, hummed old tunes, and fed the birds outside my porch. My little house was my heaven, filled with family pictures, laughter, and memories that smelled like love and apple pie. My husband, George, had passed away years before, but we had built this house together with our hands and dreams. After he died, I promised myself I would protect this home no matter what. It wasn't just a house, it was my life, my story, my everything. I adored my kids. I cooked for them, babysat their children, helped them when times were tough, and even gave them my savings when they needed it. I believed family meant forever, that the love I gave could never be replaced, and that betrayal would never touch me. But sometimes, the people you give your life to are the same ones who watch you fall. It started small whispers during dinner, secretive looks, bills suddenly missing from the table. My eldest son couldn't even meet my eyes anymore. I tried to tell myself they were just stressed, that families go through things, but deep down, I felt it coming. Then one morning, the postman delivered a letter that changed everything. My house, the one George and I built together, was no longer in my name. My own children had transferred it without telling me. I confronted my son, my voice trembling. "What is this?" I asked. He didn't even look sorry. "Ma, it's for your own good," he said, like I was overreacting. "We're just helping manage things now. You don't gotta worry about it." But I knew. That wasn't help. That was betrayal in disguise. Days later, I overheard them planning to sell my home. The people I gave my life to were planning to throw me out of my own house. And just like that, I stood in my kitchen staring at walls that no longer belonged to me. My home was gone, at least on paper. I tried to pretend everything was normal, still cooking, folding laundry, watering my garden, but the house felt empty. The laughter was gone. My son barely spoke to me. My daughter-in-law gave fake smiles that said, "You're in the way." Even my little grandson, the one who used to run into my arms every morning, began keeping his distance. One evening, I overheard them talking. My daughter-in-law whispered, "She doesn't even pay bills anymore. Why's she still here?" My son sighed. "We'll figure something out." Figure something out, those words hit me harder than any slap. The next weeks were cold, not the kind fixed with a blanket, but the kind that settles in your chest. My meals grew smaller, my space in the house shrank. Then one rainy evening, my son came to me. "Ma, it's time you move somewhere else. Maybe stay with Aunt Lisa for a bit." I was confused. "Move? Why? This is my home." He didn't meet my eyes. "We just need space. Things are tight." My voice cracked. "Space? From your own mother?" His wife crossed her arms. "Don't make this harder than it already is." And just like that, the life I built crumbled in silence. I packed my clothes, a few dresses, my wedding photo, my Bible, and stepped out into the rain. My slippers sank in the mud. No one stopped me. No one said goodbye. I had nothing left but a trembling heart and the realization that my name had been erased. For the first few nights, I didn't know where to go. The rain didn't stop, and my heart felt heavier than the bag I carried. I sat on a cold bench near a church, shivering. A young woman asked, "Ma'am, are you okay?" I smiled weakly. "I'm just a little lost, sweetheart. That's all." Eventually, I found a small shelter for seniors. The room was tiny, a metal bed, one old rattling fan, and a cracked mirror. But it was quiet, peaceful, in a strange way. At night, I lay awake, replaying every moment, the laughter, the betrayal, the door closing behind me. Sometimes I cried silently, biting my lip so no one would hear. Other times, I whispered a prayer not for revenge, but for strength. Days turned into weeks. People at the shelter felt sorry for me, but I didn't want pity. I've always been a fighter, I just needed to remember it. One morning, I looked in the cracked mirror and said to myself, "They can take my home, but they can't take me." I found an old sewing machine in the corner. It was rusty and slow, but familiar. I began fixing torn clothes for others. At first, just small jobs, but word spread. People started calling me Miss Martha the Magic Hands. They didn't just come for repaired clothes, they came for something more. Hope, strength, heart. Every dollar I earned, I saved, wrapping it in a small towel and hiding it under my pillow. My secret little seed of hope. I didn't speak of my pain. I just worked, smiled, and kept moving. I knew deep inside I wasn't done. Months turned into years. What started with a few stitches became something bigger. People loved my work, saying my clothes had feeling. Maybe it was because every thread carried my pain and my strength. One afternoon, a boutique owner noticed my stitching. "Who made this?" she asked. That's how it started. She offered me a corner in her shop. Soon, my small corner became my own business. I called it Second Stitch, because just like my clothes, I had been stitched back together, stronger than ever. Then one morning, while buying fabric, I saw a sign across the street. "House for sale." My heart skipped. It was my house, the same one I was kicked out of, the one I built with George. My children had lost it to debt. I stood there for a long moment. No anger, no tears, just a quiet realization. Life comes full circle. I walked into the real estate office. "I'd like to buy that house," I said softly. Papers were signed, payments cleared. The house that witnessed my heartbreak now belonged to me again. No one could take it away. I didn't brag. I didn't call my family. I just walked through the door and whispered, "I told you I'd come back, George." When my children found out, they panicked. They rushed over, voices shaky. "Ma, we didn't know." But I didn't flinch. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I looked at them and saw the same faces I raised, the same people who once made my heart feel full. And for a second, I felt a flicker of sadness. Then I smiled, not bitter, not fake, a calm smile of someone who survived. "You took everything I had," I said softly. "But you couldn't take who I am, and you never will." No one argued. No one interrupted. They knew this wasn't about money anymore. It was about strength, about a life rebuilt, about a heart that refused to break. I walked through my house, touching the walls I once loved. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need their apologies. I had something stronger, my dignity, my independence, my life reclaimed. Betrayal hurts the most when it comes from your own blood. But true strength doesn't come from revenge. It comes from standing back up, from rebuilding when life tries to break you, from showing the world and yourself that no matter what they take, they can't touch who you truly are. My house was back. My family had their chance. but I had my life. And sometimes, that's the sweetest revenge of all.